We're installing a window today.
So today's video is our window. We actually wanted to do this a while ago, but we've been waiting for 6 weeks.
Yeah, a long time. This
so.
was out of stock, and it's out of stock almost anywhere where you can find it. So it was back ordered and then shipping delays with everything going on, but we finally have it. So we're excited.
So Megan's super excited to get some natural light in our van. Big fan of that, both for pictures and just for general mental health. We're lucky to have the windows in the back already, but this is going to go on the side in our kitchen area. So that's the job for today.
So the window that we opted for is called a driver side bunk window. You can choose the window for either the driver side or the passenger side. And then since our little kitchen area is going to be behind the driver's seat, that's the bunk window that we went with. So if you look right here, that's about where it's going to be placed when it's all finished.
So we need to take out this metal support first because the window is going to go right here, right above where our kitchen area is going to be. So if you get close, you can see it's just welded together, the metal on metal there, here, and then 2 spots up in the top. The rest of it is just kind of glued on. So once we get those off, we can just pull it straight off. So one thing we want to be very careful with is we don't want to go through any of this other metal that we're going to be keeping in the van. So you can see it's really, really, really close, but you just got to take your time and should be fine.
Just as something to think about, put a blanket down so your metal shavings don't fall onto your floor or any other areas where you won't want those. It'll be much easier to clean up.
So we're finding out that the instructions aren't that detailed and leave a lot for you to kind of figure out as far as which spots you're actually supposed to trace to make a template. So what we're working on right now is tracing the outline of it onto cardboard so we can cut that out, put it up in the van where we want it to go, and then we have an outline of what we need to cut. But the trick is figuring out where the heck on this thing we're supposed to trace.
So I just wanted to mention that we purchased this window from Van Windows Direct online. They're one of a few companies that sells these kind of RV style windows, but their website has horrible directions. Like, it's almost illegible. And that's our clamp ring.
So this is what we trace. So one of the trickiest parts of the whole install is figuring out exactly what you're supposed to frame, whether it's the inside or the outside of this clamp ring. So you actually want to put it down so the top part is facing up. And then when you trace it, you're going to go down under the lip and then the whole way around. All right, that way you get the exact size of what the window is going to be.
So we put the clamp ring on the wall and we taped it up, and we are going to do our stencil directly onto the wall, not using the cardboard now because we want to be as accurate as possible.
So one step that we really want to take our time with is making this outline, because once we have this and we start to cut, there's no going backwards. So we drew this on very carefully, and we went back and we took measurements from here to here, from the middle to the bottom, and from this side of the bottom, just to make sure they all lined up perfectly. So when we do actually cut everything, it turns out to be the size of the window. So one thing that's really important is the line that we made, we're doing the inside of that line the whole way around. In case there's a little bit of measurement that was off, we can always sand it down, but if we cut it too big from the top of the line and we need to make it smaller, it's just not possible. So we cut out the first hole and tried to fit the window into it, and it didn't quite fit, which is fine. That was kind of what we wanted. Now we're going to trim up a couple spots around the edges, then hopefully the window will slide right in and fit nicely. So we're just filing this down so it's not real sharp all around, so when we put it in, it'll fit nicely, and all the extra metal pieces that might be clinging on will all be taken off. When we're done with this, we're going to get some Rust-Oleum and just touch up the whole outside so we don't get any rusting issues down the road. And after that sits for a little bit, we'll be ready to put the window in. So we're just putting a really light coating of Rust-Oleum around, just to make sure we don't have any rust issues, but we don't need a whole lot. Just a little bit on the spots where we cut into the metal and we have some exposed metal.
Alright guys, so we're losing sun here, but we just wanted to talk about a little problem that we ran into. As you see, these screws here are not black. They don't match the screws that came with the window because the screws that came with the window are garbage. And they don't tighten enough like we want them to, and then things got kind of jacked up inside, so we decided to use our own, and we are going to paint them black to match everything else.
And after many hours and a few difficulties, we have an amazing looking window.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to follow along with the rest of our van build.